Yeah, but for now, let's go back to the Hunter's Dream and do some upgrades, and then we're gonna go because I did all that stuff like before I fought the first boss. I've basically opened up the path, and when we're done with this, we can go straight to the second boss without doing any more like exploring. We can get some more items here. These little guys are like your little helpers. They show up throughout the world and sort of give you hints and items. And this is the doll, and she's awake now that we killed the first boss, which means we can level up our character.
Hello, good hunter. I am a doll. Here, honorable hunter. And you will
Everybody in like Dark Souls and Bloodborne games speak with such cool accents.
Very well.
It's odd to have like such good English in a Japanese game. Let's actually consume some blood items right away and try and get a couple of levels here. These are basically like experience points that you can put in your pocket and carry around for when you need them on demand, but I'm just going to use them now.
Welcome.
See how many experience points we can get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we've got 8 points. I think we're gonna do because it's a strength build and our weapons are gonna be heavy. We're gonna need some stamina, so I'm gonna put 2 points there. And then I'm probably just gonna put like maybe that makes sense. It's 5 more strength points. It's gonna do. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna hold off on the arcane a little bit now in the beginning, just because we're not going to be dealing any arcane damage yet anyway. Arcane is like in this game, you deal arcane damage when you deal elemental damage. There are two kinds of elemental damage in the game. There is fire, which is good against beasts, and then lightning, which is good against celestials and like aliens and stuff like that, which are going to show up later in the game as well. Spoilers. And so you do more damage with the elemental attacks when you have more arcane, and we're actually going to make a build with this character, I think, that's going to be using both fire and lightning damage throughout the playthrough, so we're going to want some points in that stat. This is so annoying, like he has his pet crows in this troll. Really no need to kill him because it's kind of a waste of bullets. I really want a lot of bullets on Gascoigne because I like to use a lot of I use my gun a lot when I fight Gascoigne usually. So this is like the path with the little elevator after the troll with the big boulder we unlocked earlier. So we're going to take this path back, but we're going to go follow the bridge and keep on going in the other direction, because we're trying to get to Cathedral Ward, which is where the healing church is based. You see that big bridge up there, which is where we fought the cleric beast? That path into Cathedral Ward was locked. So basically you find that out and then you try and get another path through by going through this underground tomb, which is over here. So we're going to try and collect these guys and make them go to one side of the bridge. Just like this. And when they're all on one side. And that boulder's going to come rolling. Oh, that was so bad. That was terrible. I've been doing so well so far. Okay, at least we're not dead. But we still have like enough. I'm gonna make some blood bullets and then I'm gonna heal, and that puts me at full health with a lot of bullets. This feels good. Yeah, so we're basically ready for Gascoigne now. There are a couple of enemies here in the corner, but I'm gonna skip them for now and just go straight up. This is one of the coolest bosses in the game, by the way. The sound effects are so good as well. really like his armor as well. I tend to use it when I play this game. It looks so cool.
Beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them, sooner or later.
Let's see if we can get this guy first try. It's really hit or miss because he can really like put you in infinite and stuff.
What's that smell? The sweet blood. Oh, it seems to me.
Try and do some stun locking here because he gets like more. He has 3 phases and he just gets more and more dangerous as the fight goes on. So you gotta like try and. Alright. Now he's gonna turn into a werewolf, and this is where he gets really dangerous. Okay, didn't get enough damage. This is dangerous. Okay. Come on, please. That was good. That was pretty clean. I remember the first time I played this boss, I think he took me like something like 20 tries, and I was like, they went way overboard, he's too hard. He is way too hard. And then it's really a game where you gotta learn how to not be bad. It's a lot like Tekken in that sense. I don't know if you're interested to know, but this woman down here, we're not gonna go and see her right now. That corpse right there is actually Gascoigne's wife. It's implied that he actually murdered her right before we showed up, which is sad. And now we're sort of unlocking the main hub of the game, which is Cathedral Ward, which then branches off into all of the other areas of the game where we need to go. So we've cleared the sort of introduction area. And here there's a creepy guy living on the floor. And he basically says, like, if you find any survivors in the city, bring them to the chapel, because he has all this incense, and incense repels beasts in this game. So if you want, you can collect all these survivors and you can have them live here, but I don't think I'm going to bother with too many of them, but there are a couple that are pretty good to have. These enemies are really dangerous, these priest guys, because they have they don't get stun locked. Basically they have a lot of like poise, I guess, if it were a Dark Souls game. So you see, if I hit him, he's not going to like stagger. So if he's in an attack animation, he's just going to keep on going and wreck me. The reason I'm going off, I'm going to go off this area to the right here, is because there are a couple of more like upgrade materials that I want to collect before we move on to Old Yharnam. Difficult because one of these giants has like a ball and chain weapon, and he's really dangerous. But we're just gonna try and like sneak through smooth here, collect the items. Come on. lot of them throughout the game. So yeah, this is the dangerous guy, the ball and chain guy, but even if you, like, can you tell, like, to his right, there's like a little black spot, like a furry creature on the ground? That's like the equivalent of a crystal lizard in this game. It's basically a monster that if you don't kill it right away, it disappears, but if you manage to kill it, you get a lot of upgrade material, so you really want to hunt them down. Problem is, I need to run straight to that thing and kill it while the big ball and chain guy tries to kill me, so it's a little bit of a dangerous situation, but we're just going to try and run through here. Go around him like that. Scare the beast. Oh no, that's the wrong direction. Wow, no, no. Okay, that's the only chance we're going to get right now. No, he disappeared. Oh, I got him, I got him. Okay, good. That was barely. Let's actually try and kill this guy too. Oh wow, the wall was right there. Okay, let's just try and get around him. See, the reason this guy is so dangerous is he doesn't really like swing in front of him like the other one. He has these wide arcs. I don't think I've ever actually visceral attacked one of these giants before, even though you could. You gotta get a charged R2 on his head, maybe? I don't know. Okay, but that's another stone. And then down here, I think you get your first blood rune, which is an item you use to... it's basically like a gem that you put in slots in your weapon, and it makes it stronger. They're mainly relevant if you're like a PvP guy, which I'm not. I don't play PvP in any of the Dark Souls or Bloodborne games. I've never really seen the appeal. Like, I get that it's really like advanced and cool, and there's like a lot of weapons and stuff. Like, I see that part of it, but it's just like I don't know. It feels like it's so like improvised. There's not enough like actual structure within the game to allow for the PvP. I would prefer if there was like a mode or something you could go into, but it's more like random people running around ganking each other, and then if you want to have like some actual good PvP, then you have to have unspoken rules in between the players that, you know, we're going to meet in this area, we're going to fight at this level. That's really cool that the community has managed to actually do that. Speaks to the fact that there's like a lot of cool people playing these games, but it's for me it just feels like a little bit janky all over. We're gonna make it through this cathedral here. This is like one of the 15 different cathedrals in the game, and then we're gonna go to Old Yharnam, which happens to be my least favorite area in the entire game. It's the only area in Bloodborne that I don't like, because it's just orange. It's like a it's got like a cool backstory and stuff, but it's I don't like the visual feel of the area at all, so I'm just gonna try and like get through it nice and easy. Man, those dogs, man. And not like spend too much time there. I don't think I'm even gonna kill Jura. I'm just gonna skip Jura and go straight for the blood-starved beast. The blood-starved beast, which is the next major boss we're gonna fight. We're gonna talk to Alfred here first. Alfred is like a vampire hunter, and you meet him and he's like a really nice guy, and he gives you some fire paper right here, which is super useful. Beast hunt. And he's like a cool guy, but then like he just turns into more and more of a maniac throughout the game. And he's like a fanatic, and he really hates these vampires in the game, or vile bloods. The vile bloods in this game are basically like vampires. I think the idea behind them is like here in Yharnam, people got like blood transfusions of this old blood, which turned them into monsters. But in this other area called Canehurst, where we're gonna go later, they ingested the blood through the mouth instead, I think, and that turned them basically into vampires. And he hates those vampires, and he like wants to go and hunt them. Yeah, so now we're gonna make it into Old Yharnam. Old Yharnam has like a cool story behind it, even though I don't like the area because I think it's because it's so bright. It's on fire, and at this point in the game we're still at sunset. Night hasn't set in yet, so it's really bright here, and it just feels like, I mean, I guess it reminds me of one of the areas of Dark Souls that I don't find all that inspired. You know, in Dark Souls you have all these open areas where it's just like orange sky, and there's like not really a lot to the environment. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dark Souls looks amazing in a lot of areas as well, but how many points do we have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna put like 1. Let's just do that. 1 in each. That's good enough. And then I'm gonna get 1 more level on my saw cleaver here. This might actually be the last time we upgrade the cleaver, because I'm gonna move on to other weapons that I like more pretty soon. But we're gonna need all the damage we can get for the Blood-Starved Beast. Yeah, I was gonna mention the Blood-Starved Beast is known for being, I think, according to a lot of people, one of the hardest bosses in the game. And it's basically this like crazy werewolf guy, but he's like infested. He can poison you, and if that poison builds up, it kills you really fast. And if you want to try and get rid of it, you gotta like stand around and use items, and when you do that, he basically kills you. The most dangerous thing about the boss to me that I'm probably gonna lose to if he kills me is he has a one hit kill move where he just jumps on you and bites your head off, and it's not really telegraphed. So if you don't, if you're not very careful and he hits you with that, he's just gonna kill you no matter how well you were doing. I'm gonna get another one of these upgrade materials here. That right there, which I just missed right now like a moron, is another upgrade stone, but we're actually going to go through this little area here, this shortcut, one more time later, so it's fine, we can get it that time. This is why I said that it's not really important that you have the torch, because right here you get the hunter's torch, which is basically the torch but better in a lot of ways. I like it because it lights up areas, and some beasts in the game actually fear the torch because, you know, they're weak to fire. So, and this area there are a lot of those like guys who are scared of fire, so it's actually a little bit more useful than a firearm some of the time here. So I'm going to use it for my, just for Old Yharnam, I think. But yeah, but the thing with Old Yharnam is, like, I'm not an expert on the Bloodborne story. I mean, there are people who make, like, you know, hour-long videos on specific parts of the lore and stuff, but I just really like, you know, the bits and pieces I picked up, like, out of the story on my own playthroughs, just looking at stuff, which is how I think the games are, like, meant to be enjoyed anyway. And Old Yharnam was, like, I think, where they first started doing these blood transfusions, and people first started turning into beasts, and so they basically closed it off and set it on fire, which is why it's still burning. And there are no human beings left down here at all. It's just beasts that are like hiding away, trying not to get murdered. And there's this guy called Jura, which is the guy who just spoke to us. He's on top of that clock tower, you can actually see him, and he's basically sitting there with a minigun, and when you get close, he starts trying to kill you because he's a hunter who basically started feeling sorry for the beasts. He realized that they were in fact just unfortunate people who had been tricked by the church, and so he wants to protect them now. And that's why when you go in here and you just start, you know, chopping them down, he gets pissed and then he tries to kill you. But you can just, if you use these like specific little paths through the area, you can avoid him pretty easily. But if you just stand out in the open here, you're gonna get killed. And yeah, you can kill Jura, and he gives you some cool items. You can get the stake driver, which is an awesome weapon in this game, but I'm not really interested in it for this playthrough, so I'm just gonna skip it. Here you can see the beast is like scared of my torch, which can, wow, okay. That's nice. Alright, I don't have a gun. I was gonna shoot him, but I didn't have a gun out. That's another thing that I like about the cleaver weapons in this game. They have wide swing arcs, so you can catch multiple enemies even when they're like, you know, to the side of you and stuff. More upgrade materials. We're gonna collect like our one of our main weapons pretty soon, and so I need to get these materials so I can get it up to a decent level right away. Yeah, and I'm playing a little bit sloppy here because these enemies, like the main strategy against them is like you chop them down and stun lock them. There we go. And then in here you can actually get a gem that's going to slot into your gun, I think. Make your gun a little bit better. And there are a lot of enemies in this area, and you can get shot by the minigun guys, so you got to be a little bit careful. You got to keep moving while fighting, basically, so that you don't get hit from behind or you don't get shot from above. And then here you can see the torches really doing me favors by making the enemies hesitate a lot of the time. So I'm able to, like, you know, just sort of snake through here. And then I'm gonna try and get some, yeah, so like some experience points. Down in that area over there by the gargoyles, we're not going to go there, but there's like another hunter who wants to kill you, and if you jump off a ledge you can find the rifle spear, which is a really cool weapon in this game. It's like a spear that has a built-in shotgun in the handle, which is really cool. Like, the idea is really cool, but then I like to use it, but the move set is kind of disappointing to me because it basically only has like stabbing attacks. And then you turn it into the transformed shape, and then it only has these kind of like pretty good slashing attacks, but they have such they come out slow and they're not really like good for crowd control, which you wouldn't expect. Oh, we got poisoned, and I haven't got my anti-poison things equipped. These white things are what you use to get rid of poison. Yeah, so the Bloodstar Beast, like the boss of this area, is basically one of these guys, but just a little bit bigger and a little bit scarier, a lot scarier. And in this area, these old Yharnam beasts are basically worshipping something. You can hear them chanting in here. They have like an altar and stuff. They get crazy and like they get like rabid and try and murder you if you go through here normally. So my technique is usually I just go to this doorway right here. They go crazy and they try and get you, but they all come in through this doorway, which basically means that it's a lot easier to just bunch them up and kill them. And then you don't have to like fight them in all of these like awkward corridors and stuff. I need to get a heal on. Okay, so I messed up the door strategy a little bit here. You can see they have red eyes now. That's basically because they're like buff right now. Alright, good. Thermal coming right, yeah. A lot. Okay, that was clean. Okay, so that's like the first major area of Old Yharnam. And now we're gonna go down to like the cooler section, which is down here, and then down in that, you know, cathedral number 16 over there, which is under the big bridge where we fought earlier. We're gonna fight the Blood-starved beast. I'm gonna get some more items here first though. The main like issue with these crows is like they make such an annoying noise. They scream at you, and you can tell they were like obviously deliberately designed to be annoying and like a nuisance. Like even the sound, because From are very good at making games, and they don't make like annoying, really loud noises like that for no reason. They know that you're gonna hate those enemies. Here, if you run through quick, you can get another one of those crystal lizard monsters that's gonna give you extra upgrade stuff. So we're gonna try and get him first. There he is. Fire damage these guys take because they're weak to fire. If I use the torch right there. And now we're gonna go into this like little werewolf slum down here at the bottom. Hello. Yeah, you can see the fact that I upgraded my weapon is really. Like I can kill those guys in one slot now, which is kind of important. Basically makes them completely like a non-factor. Very easy to kill. This actually reminds me a little bit of like one of my other favorite games of all time. One of the greatest games of all time. I think it's crazy how fun Diablo 2 is. Especially if you have the Lord of Destruction expansion. And that's another game where like the main thing is like you can wreck enemies and do a lot of damage, but they also deal a lot of damage to you, so it just becomes very like movement and focus based. I remember I was a young kid, I was playing a lot of Diablo 2. A lot of my friends had the expansion pack, but I didn't. And then my dad one day was like, I need to like rake all the leaves in the yard. I need to like cut off all of these like branches and all the bushes. I need to get all that into a trailer, and I need to go to the dump and dump it all. It's going to take several hours to do, and you need to help me. Basically, he told me I had to help out with the, you know, around the house the whole day. But then he said, if you do it without complaining, that might be worth a Diablo expansion. There might be a Diablo expansion in it for you. Hint, hint. And I was like, hell yeah. And I helped him out the whole day. I probably would have anyway, you know, he's my dad and whatever. But yeah, that's how I got Lord of Destruction for Diablo 2. And this is the path where we got the torch earlier, where I said we're going to come through one more time. But just to save some time here, I'm actually going to use a teleport back to the save point. My dad, by the way, is really into video games as well. He has his own PlayStation 4, and when I'm back home in my home country, you know, I'll you know, stay up until like 4 in the morning playing games, and then when I go to like the fridge to get some snacks, I can hear him, and he's like in his office playing games, you know, at 4 in the morning as well. It's really cool. He's more of an like a Ubisoft guy. He likes action games that have a lot more focus on actual like action, and much less focus on stats and like RPG elements like leveling up. He's much more like an exploration guy. So he's big into Assassin's Creed. He plays all the Assassin's Creed games. I think my dad actually has like 100% completion in most of those games, and it's pretty cool because he's like 60. And then he also plays like Red Dead Redemption and games like that. 1, 2, 3. So we can get another 3 points here. Let's get 2 strength and then maybe like 1 stamina. We're not getting a lot of vitality right now, which is dangerous, but whatever. And now I think we're basically ready for the blood-starved beast. And this is the first time during this little playthrough of ours where I'm scared that I might actually die. I don't think the blood-starved beast is that hard, but like I said, like poison is dangerous, and the that one-hit kill move where he just jumps on you out of nowhere and bites your head off, it's really unfair. And if you get hit by it, it's like it doesn't matter how well you were playing up until that point. But we're going to make sure that we have our antidotes, and we're going to make sure that we have our fire paper. And then you can get crazy with like, you can throw these like bottles of blood on the floor, and because he's the blood-starved beast, he goes like crazy and tries to eat the blood, and then you can get attacks on him. I think that's a little bit cheesy, and I don't use that strategy. You can also throw like Molotov cocktails and stuff and do decent damage to him, but I also think that's kind of cheesy. We're gonna just stand in his face and fight him, basically. It's how I prefer to do these games. I also tend not to ever summon help. Obviously, if that's something you like to do, it's, you know, it's part of the game. It's not like you're any less good for doing it. I just feel like I really don't want to. So I feel like I'm able to beat, you know, the game by myself on my own two legs. Run through here. Yeah, so we're full on bullets and blood vials. We've been really good with conserving resources so far, which is cool. It's not nice when you run out of like vials or bullets and you have to replenish, because you basically got to grind when that happens, which is not fun. Yeah, but I think we're ready. I'm a little bit nervous. I've never been watched while playing like a game before, and now I'm gonna fight a hard boss. But yeah. So okay, we got antidotes, we got fire paper, we got our gun, and the cleaver. Okay, here we go. Let's see how fire going. Let's see what happens. Yes. Dodge. So far, he's gonna buff up now. Try and get as much damage as possible. Now he's in like his poison mode. Now he's getting really dangerous. Basically, now we can't really stand next to him, and my fire buff is about to run out, I think, which is not good either. So, oh, that's the one-hit kill move. Oh, we were able to dodge it. I saw it just in time. Wow, that was scary. We did so well up until that point. I really didn't want to just randomly die. Okay, we got poison. We gotta kill him now or we're done. We gotta kill him now. Right away. Okay, we got it. Cure the poison. Okay, that was nice and clean. That was actually pretty clean. But you could see he got me with the poison right there, and he dodges a lot, he jumps around, so if I didn't run up and like get him with enough damage there with like one hit, he would jump away, I would be dying to the poison, I would be in really bad shape. So yeah, it was pretty nice. But that's old Yharnam, my least favorite area of Bloodborne. It's still really cool, but now that that's done, like everything else is going to be